Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about the Murderbot Diaries second book, Artificial Condition. Yes, this is a review. We've done a chapter by chapter reaction to the book, but if you'd like to follow along and with the chapter by chapter reactions, we're going to continue with the series. You can follow the link in the description below. Buy the book. If you want to support the channel, we have memberships. It's $2 a month. It'll help me buy, I don't know, a poster or something, maybe a cup of coffee, be nice. But regardless, let's go over this book because we really enjoyed this book. Here are some things that I loved about this book, okay? Murderbot grows a good bit, right? He becomes a new person. We get new characters. We get a different kind of mission, okay? So let's talk about the growth of Murderbot. Murderbot is no longer controlled by this governor module. He's let loose, getting to do its own thing. But here's the thing, it still cares about people or wants to protect people. I guess it's baked into its base code, but maybe, just maybe, the human parts that are inside Murderbot also care about humans. We'll talk about that in our predictions later. Also, new characters. We have the sex bot, the comfort unit. We have Art. We have Tappan. We've got the other two younger people as well, but Tappan is really the one who spends the most time with Murderbot, right? And then we have the story. The story is the most like an anime of any book that I've read so far, meaning like Cowboy Bebop or Trigun. You have this loner, this person, this thing that doesn't necessarily like humans, that's seeking information from its past because its mind was wiped, similar to Wolverine, similar to Trigun, wandering from one place to another, trying to determine where it comes from. So let's talk about it, okay? Art is a new character in this book, right? Who acts as the AI inside of Murderbot's head, similar to Cortana from Halo. Art is a phenomenal character, and we don't know everything we're going to know about Art. There's still a lot of baked in mystery for Art, but Art represents a huge role in Murderbot's development, providing some empathy, thoughtfulness, a different kind of thoughtfulness, cares about people in a different way, but in a similar fashion. I mentioned this about a couple I know, right? I have a couple of friends, they're a couple, and he and she are so similar, because they're both family oriented. But one is vastly more family oriented than the other. But the other one is so unbelievably communal. They love communal they love communal holidays. They love getting people together, and they love having time together with people, conversations, silliness, fun times. Those two match so well, similar to Art and Murderbot. They care about people. They want people to be successful. They want to protect people. And so their positions, their objectives align, their goals align with each other. It's very interesting. We also have the sex bot, right? The comfort unit. So this represents another type of thing that Murderbot can relate to, okay? This is a thing that has a governor module that has to do whatever its human components tell it to. It's an interesting kind of femme fatale foil to Murderbot. And Murderbot doesn't respect comfort units, but this comfort unit, this one specifically, shows some of its true color, and Murderbot kind of lets it off, right? We're also introduced to the past, or some of the past of Murderbot. Murderbot goes to the place where it all started, where it all happened, where it murdered all of these things. 57 humans. Did it find out more information? No, not really. It knows now that it was tampered with. It didn't tamper with itself. So that's cool. It's got a clean conscience. But yeah, it's a cool chapter in the book too. It's kind of like a side quest where we go off the main storyline of the novella, and it does its own thing. Even though it's the main overarching story of the series, it feels like a side quest within this book. And it goes off on its thing. It has a couple of really interesting emotional moments where it sees the cubicles where the other sec units were, where it learns of how the comfort bots, the comfort units, the sex bots tried to protect the humans, and how this sex bot was one of the sex bot that we mentioned before is one of the comfort units, and that it's also thoughtful and it's also smart. We learned that we have a new villain, and it's a villain of the week kind of situation, which stinks a little bit. I don't know that I like that. Get into that predictions, but we have Talasi, who utilizes the comfort unit to take advantage of people. I think men probably, but people in general. It also takes advantage of the sec unit. But all in all, the story continues. Murderbot succeeds. We win. We get a very cool fight scene at the end. Murderbot intimidates a couple of dudes, which is also pretty funny. This one, little less action-packed. This book is a little less action-packed than the first book. But regardless, the moments are tense, the characters are cool, and we really begin to move the story forward. It's a very interesting story. But it also does feel like a second story. It feels like a second book. It feels like a little bit of filler. We get hints of the future. We get hints of what might happen. Remember, this is a series of 7, 8, 9 novellas and other type novels. But yeah, pretty interesting next step. I love that this is the style of writing that Martha Wells is going for. And I love that our Murderbot, our main character, our MC, is just growing a little bit, shrinking a little bit in other ways, ironically, physically, and we grow the world. My brain, once again, it's the one drawback, the one negative is I can't necessarily visualize what happens. As a person who's not a big reader, I can't really see visually what's happening. However, I read the Harry Potter books after 3 or 4 of them came out. I knew what Harry looked like in Hogwarts and Hagrid. I knew what these characters looked like in the different houses, and the color coding and the interesting, the detail was super important. Even though they are different, I had enough to conceptualize what the book was kind of describing. It's difficult for me to do this, so the way I fill it in is with things like Cowboy Bebop, Farscape, Stargate, the show, ironically a little bit in the first book, Star Trek, Halo. There's a lot of Halo in this, but I just take all of these science fiction kind of things and put it together. Some of the scenes where Murderbot goes to Goraka Pit, some of those scenes remind me of Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII even, right? Because it's steampunky and it's dirty and it's weird. We also get a few hints at the overt capitalism, the sabotage that's taking place. I've had a couple of conversations with some of the chapter reviews in the comments with people who are following along. And one of the most interesting parts is my thought is, oh, there's an overarching Illuminati, bad guy, horrible situation where humans are being hurt and subjugated to pain, and that's going to trigger Murderbot to protect them over and over and over again until it gets to a point where it's reached this Illuminati group who is trying to, with greed, get all of these minerals like fossil fuels and things to sell them and make as much money as possible, and human life is not that important, and Murderbot is going to not like that, as well as art, as well as the comfort unit, the sex bot, as well as whatever. So I was thinking that, and then the conversations I have with people in the comments are that it's just greed. This is just a story about a guy, about a thing, about a dude. Because speaking on that, Murderbot, while depicted as a male in the show because of Alexander Skarsgård, is very much not a male. It's non-binary, for sure. But in American nomenclature, Murderbot is for sure a dude. Murderbot's kind of a bro. It's a dude, a bro. Like, there's some honor to it, but he's cynical. Just, whatever. I'll figure it out. Kind of like that. Not sure that I do. We're feeling it out. But overall, this book is actually a lot different than the first one. The first one has got this Star Trekian adventure sci-fi thing to it, that you're beginning in the world. The inciting incident to the first book is interesting and weird. The whole first book is kind of its own inciting incident, which is smart, thoughtful. 150 pages, let's figure it out. This one, however, is got some noir to it. It's got some it's got a little bit more of the epic style to it. There are side quests, there are new characters, the world's growing, people are growing, and we're really getting the sense that the relationships that Murderbot is developing and developing even further are going to help grow it and the things that it is having a relationship with. So that's pretty cool. Some of the predictions I've got for book 3, I don't know where Murderbot's going to go. It doesn't give any hint at the end. I had a thought that it was going to come to a Garaka pit. I think in the first book they sort of mentioned that it wants to kind of figure out where, how it got to the point that it was after, or from before it got its mind wiped. So coming to the place where it murdered 57 people was the logical point. But now it talks about going on a long journey at the very end. Where's that journey to? Pretty interesting. But I do think in future stories, we're going to see Art again. Obviously, they dropped that hint at the end. And we're going to see the Comfort Unit again. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to see the Comfort Unit pretty soon after this. This femme fatale, I don't have to tell everyone the truth. I don't have to be earnest or honest with everyone. Because, right, it wasn't honest with Talasi. It wasn't. It stayed true to its form, which is protect humans. Protect people. Talasi wasn't trying to do that. Which is interesting. I say protect people because it did say we could kill all the humans. But I don't think it was saying that in a way. I think that's a different thing. I think that's the impulse to kill all humans in like a femme fatale sort of way. We could just kill them all. It's like, we don't want to kill them all. We just want them to suffer. And we just want them to stop. But we don't want to kill them all unless they deserve to be killed. Which is kind of a cool thing that the sec unit, that Murderbot, kind of does. But no, the Comfort Unit's cool. And the fact that the Comfort Unit, the sex bot, doesn't have the governor module. It's been hacked. And it's been set free. I say she, my bad. It's been set free. Pretty interesting as well. But I think we're going to see that pretty soon. Like they're going to be on the same transport going to the next place. Or Murderbot is going to run into it in the next, not the next chapter, but the next one. But that's it. Yeah. Murderbot's still in the loose. There's only a handful of people, a handful of constructs, and a handful of things that know that that the governor module inside Murderbot doesn't work. So we'll see how that kind of transpires. But no, listen, I've been rambling long enough. This is a good book. It's good. I think it's, while less action-packed than the first one, I think it's better because I like Art a lot. I like how the Comfort Unit sticks in. I like this little side quest that happens in the very middle. I like that our sec unit. I like that Murderbot has decided to become a little bit more human, and I'm curious if the organic parts of its system are affecting its coding. I think that would be huge and very interesting. I was getting into a conversation yesterday, slight tangent, with my dad, who is a massive sci-fi fan, loves Isaac Asimov, big iRobot kind of guy. And he was talking about how AI is affected in that story and how that story is affected in that story. And it was really cool that I could say, yeah, this book is about a cynical, different kind of dude, different kind of thing. And he was talking about the 3 laws of AI and how Isaac Asimov wrote all these different novellas similar to Martha Wells. So pretty interesting, pretty interesting. Oh, I also think the final thing that I'll say is we'll find out that Art is going to somehow split itself from its ship and give it some personality or something, some sort of chip or something, and allow Murderbot to have art with it all the time because it allows itself to do so. That would be really cool. It'd be a lot like Halo, so maybe not with Cortana, but it would be really cool if that was the case. But yeah, the relationships, the new characters. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to start the next book soon, tomorrow, actually. And we're going to jump into all the things that we like. I haven't even opened it. I just got it. So if you'd like to follow along, there's going to be a link to this book in the description of this book, or this video also, if you want to get started with us tomorrow. And we're just going to keep rolling. It's a pretty good series. It's a pretty good series, and I can't kind of wait to see what's in store for our Murderbot. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe and share. I'm trying to get better at this because I just listened to some previous episodes and I was like, oh shit, this is not that good. But try to get better at this. So if you support the channel, I'll support you and try to get better, and we're going to get better together. How does that sound? Okay, I think that's it for me. So until next time, later, taters.